Welcome to Simpsons Hit and Run. We are now on part 13, and we're going to go off and see Professor Frink now.
So, what Bart needs to do with Fink, I forgot.
We'll see now.
Sure.
Professor Frink, you've got to help me. No one believes my story. It's just like the boy who cried wolf, except instead of a wolf, it's an alien conspiracy.
Of course.
I've heard of that story, the boy who cried alien conspiracy.
Isn't that an entire level of Psychonauts based on this?
Well, I think this came out before Psychonauts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
Relax, nerdlinger. I'll knock the lasers out
Nerdlinger.
show them to Krusty.
Okay, drive to the brewery and stop the aliens' plan. Hit the truck and collect the laser gun. Stuff for me, stuff for you.
Of course.
You got it.
Drive to the brewery. We've only got like 45 seconds.
Also, never mind the fact that once again, Bart is driving.
Typical day. He has a license at this point in the canon.
I guess,
What?
yeah.
What, you can get a license at like age 10.
Well, see the problem. Well, go ahead.
Basically, Dwibs, there was this episode where he manages to save the town from burning because of all the fire extinguishers he stole from school during a prank. Basically, because of that, the town granted him any one request, so his request was a driver's license.
8, 7, 6.
So, can you do it?
4, 3. Oh, made it.
Okay, so now what do you need to do?
Destroyed all the trucks.
Of course. Oh, the camera.
Extremely flammable trucks, if that's all it takes to blow them up.
Which is weird considering they have beer. I know that alcohol is flammable, but I don't think beer is that flammable.
Yeah.
Also,
I mean-
you're investing people, Bart. Don't cheer up. Oh, you invested Barney.
Uh-oh.
And of course, these needed to be one of those moments.
5 stars.
Asphalt eaters.
Okay. So can you Dwibs, you're
And
breaking
now
the
it's going
game
down the
again.
stairs. Well, yep, and now it's stuck there.
So now
So
that's
how
an
can you
easy
make
bat
it
of
drop,
boxes for you.
Yeah, how can you make it drop with the duffs?
This is
You have
about
to bang
what-
into it.
Lay some rubber down.
this is about as
99
nonsensical.
bottles.
This is about
Go
as
ahead.
nonsensical and stupid as the episode about the real identity of Principal Skinner.
Oh, I hate that one.
Everybody
They kind of
does.
retcon that one.
Is
now,
that
aren't
the
they?
one that essentially retcons his history as a soldier?
Yes.
Yeah.
But no. Well, yeah. Basically, it's this thing where
Ah,
it turns.
Principal and the
Break the game,
popper.
Yeah, Principal and the Popper. Basically, it's this guy who shows up, and turns out he was the real Principal Skinner all along, and that the Principal Skinner fans have grown to care about all those years. Turns out he was just a fraud, and like it was such a. To give you an idea, Theo, even Harry.
The voice actors.
Yeah, it's
Hank Azaria.
Hank Azaria. That's it.
And even the creator,
Matt Groening.
Even Hank
Yeah.
Azaria, the actor, specifically told the writers when he was given the script, this is a mistake. You guys are taking a big dump on the character."
Matt Groening also mentions that he hates that episode too.
I think that episode's pretty much non-canon now, isn't it?
No,
was-
no. It's still technically canon.
Well,
Yeah, it
that's
is,
the real
sadly.
question, Jova. What remains canon and what not?
It's one of those things
Well,
where.
okay, okay. Let's see. Both of Flanders' wives are dead. That remains canon.
And also the teacher because the voice actress died. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's why I said both of Flanders' wives are dead. Remember,
All right.
Krabappel was also a
Hold on,
sniper,
yeah,
so-
Dwibs.
And I'm using
So now what?
I am such a sellout.
Drive to the taffy shop. Drive to the taffy shop after I save the game.
The Simpsons being a sellout. Funny in hindsight.
Let's just say that episode, the Principal and the Popper, that was the episode that was a big turning point where you could tell the show was starting to get out of hand, and
Season 9.
it never really recovered from it, if you ask me. Okay, because the first 9 seasons or so were really damn good, but
Principal and the Popper was actually in season 9.
yeah, Principal and the Pauper was like the turning point for a lot of people. A lot of people literally said that that's where the Simpsons officially lost them, because now you're just like, why are you doing this? Like, that's such a complete disrespect to the viewer who's been invested for so many years. Go
See,
ahead.
this is kind of an issue. When people compare The Simpsons to Futurama, the difference is that Futurama had a canon that actually changed and they respected the changes. Simpsons is kind of a weird anomaly, where the world around the Simpson family changes, but the Simpsons themselves don't. Like, okay, seriously. Apu's children were infants, and yet now they're at the point where they're going to preschool, some can talk, and yet Maggie is still the baby that she was.
Oh, trust me, I also thought that, like, that episode where Amy spoke in this weird male voice was like, okay, this show has officially jumped the shark at this point. Like, the writers are officially just scrapping the bottom of the barrel at this point. Like, they're just doing
really
whatever they can.
Yeah, it's like, look, I like The Simpsons more. The problem is that
Destroy Principal Skinner's car and take back the laser
Full
gun
Metal
before time
Jackass.
runs out.
Huh, get it? Full Metal Jackass. Get it?
Basically,
yeah.
Principal Skinner's taken our gun, and we got to destroy his car in like 3.5 minutes.
Yeah.
See, here's the
Seems
main.
arbitrary, but yeah.
See, here's the main issue with The Simpsons. They're essentially an animated sitcom. One thing people tend to forget. Here's the deal, though. Sitcoms have changed. How I Met Your Mother, the cast changed. On Friends, the cast changed. Heck, even even Full House, one of the most. I mean, what's regarded as one of the most bland and flat examples of a sitcom, that still had the actors age and get changed. With The Simpsons, the problem is that they want to be a sitcom, but they don't seem to realize that the main characters need to age to the point where, and again, they'll always have the stupid status quo. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
Like,
it's the same with Family Guy, after all.
Family Guy.
Family Guy's
okay,
way bigger problems than that, but
yeah, I'd argue
True,
Family
but
Guy
there's
is.
also the core at that, I guess.
To be fair, Family Guy wasn't trying to be a sitcom when it started up. It was mainly just trying to be full-on comedy, while also maybe teaching a moral every now and then. Simpsons started off as a sitcom. The deal with Simpsons is this, it's how also they flanderize their characters. Yeah, this show's also the term where flanderization came from.
Yeah.
See, when it comes to Bart, yeah, he was a bad kid every now and then, but he had reasons for why he wasn't that. Bad upbringing, not that good at school, bad preschool teacher.
And
yet,
early on, he was very relatable, like that episode that Doug mentioned where he gets an F.
Yeah. Not to mention, there was also this episode where, he actually does straighten up and fly right, but he gives away his future for Lisa's sake because, well, in a stunning turn of events, Lisa was kind of becoming a troublemaker there. And, look, if there's one episode I still hold as canon because, well, they've established that the episodes set completely in the future are apparently not canon anymore. There's one episode that does have a flash forward sequence that I think is still canon. The one where he shapes up and flies right after Homer, in one of his rare amounts of actual good parenthood, punishes Bart by not allowing him to go see the Itchy and Scratchy movie.
Oh, I remember that.
And it shows that, years later, he's actually straightened up at the age of 50 and is the Chief of Justice. Can I also talk about how I don't care for the status quo that Bart can, never have a girlfriend consistent? Like, he had that one girl, but then they literally had him pull a Homer, and that had him lose the girlfriend. It's like...
A Simpsons
here we
episode
go.
I watched... a Simpsons episode I watched recently that I really enjoyed?
which one?
Yes.
The Itchy and Scratchy and Poochie. So that's actually a very good example
Oh, yeah.
of how desperate sometimes people can be to make a show more hip and popular with the kids.
And how they won't be ever willing to admit that maybe it was their fault the character wasn't too likable, and instead of trying to actually improve the character...
The big problem with The Simpsons is that
Yeah,
it was
and I have to go now. My planet needs me.
one of the it's interesting you say that, Joe, because that's such a one thing that I really appreciate in American Dad, and how Haley had Jeff, and I think she still does, doesn't Jeff, and they're married. So and Steve for a long time also had a consistent girlfriend for a while, that fat goth girl. I forgot her name. They eventually split, but at least they actually kept her for a good while. But back to The Simpsons, like, it's one of those things where the big problem with The Simpsons is that it was originally made by Matt Groening and the other creators as a specifically
a sitcom.
Not just a sitcom, Joe, but also a sitcom that was also trying to go against the norm of sitcoms back in the day. In the sense that it was a more, for lack of a better term, edgier sitcom, in the sense that the jokes were much more
Adult.
cynical, but then eventually when everybody else started doing it, there was stuff like Family Guy, South Park, and stuff. When everybody else started doing it, and some of them even better, The Simpsons kind of ran out of ideas. The fact that most of the original writers left the show didn't help either. Like for example, Jason,
They left to do Futurama.
like for example,
I need 600 coins now for a supervillain car.
So did you grind it for it?
Yes, I did.
Go on, Pedro.
because before The Simpsons came about, most sitcoms were okay, maybe not to the extent of Full House, but they were pretty goody bland and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they lived in their own world.
So basically, their answer was, we got to make these characters meaner. They're too flat and kind here and there. And ironically, they ended up plagiarizing characters
in Springfield before time runs out.
Again with the...
Yeah, more destruction.
Yeah, the problem is that
We're going to destroy 25 of them in like a minute and a half.
Well, the car is passed on its own anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Another big problem with The Simpsons is that their jokes they didn't really take good care for the writing to remain relevant and change with the times. Because the main reason why South Park is still great to this day is because Trey and Matt have consistently switched up and make sure the show remains relevant by changing things up quite a bit. Like
they literally have, and not to mention they have an art style that allows them to get episodes right out the door at a moment's notice.
Yeah.
So
Whereas
they can pretty much do
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Now it's getting to the point where destroying mission objectives causes the meter to go up.
But you see, Dwibs, this is how we do things at Springfield.
But it's bullshit.
well, do
again,
you remember how the chief of police of Springfield, I forgot the name.
Chief Wiggum?
Yeah, Chief Wiggum is in regards to justice. Yeah.
And this is the same town that, chastised a boy for losing them a baseball game.
Whereas Simpsons to this day is still making the kind of jokes my father would make when he was younger, they're still referencing they're constantly referencing pop culture from the 80s that most young people don't know about nowadays.
9.
I wouldn't say that's so much their issue. My
Here we
issue
go.
is more so them
And I
trying
can't
to...
get all the way back down to Krusty Lou in 50 seconds.
With
Jesus
no checkpoint
Christ.
in between, I guess.
Give us some fucking time, game. Jesus.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Wow.
Joe.
The main issue with Simpsons, I wouldn't say, is that they're still referencing old stuff. No, far from it. I'd say it's more so when they try to be all new and stuff here and there.
It's that picture. It's like that picture with Steve Buscemi. How you're doing, fellow kids?
Like, seriously. This is sort of an issue here. Again, this is part of an issue. So you don't have the character's age, or at least, the main 4 family age, even though other characters' age, and yet they're having them do all this new stuff.
10 seconds. Can I make it in time?
I ain't saying no.
I don't know. They're having them do all this new stuff while also referencing, again, past episodes where they didn't have technology back then and here. And also, some of the retcons are just...
Nope.
Ugh.
Oh, but that's all right.
Brilliant.
I can just skip that part anyway.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, yeah.
Yep.
Really?
Yep, it's unclear.
Then why
I don't
haven't
know
it
if I-
been?
I don't know if I cut out all the fails and had to reset a couple of times or something, but well, regardless, I mean that part's done at least. So join
Anyway,
us in the next part where we continue the conspiracy and try and find out more about the aliens.
so yeah, I'll just cap up my thoughts about the show. I do still like the show. The problem is that it's gone on for so long that they're mainly when they want to do something new, they resort to retconning stuff. Again, that was one of the main issues with Principal and the Pauper.
Yeah.
All right, then see you for the next
See ya,
part.
buddy.
See you then.
See ya.